Why are you in San Francisco, Mom?
It's lovely. It's a little foggy, but pretty nice.
Why are you there?
Business.
Mm. Oops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Stop it. Stop it.
Is that a Red Bull?
What? Oh,
Mm,
Fairlife.
Her
it's
shirt,
a baby Red Bull. He's so
her,
cute.
her shirt says strong wife mom.
She's adorable.
Thank you.
I made three. I'm gonna learn. I'm basically testing out a bunch of different recipes with my ice cream maker to find which one I like the best. So the first three that I tried were with a cup of whole milk, and then the next three that I'm gonna try are gonna be with a Fairlife chocolate base.
Is this with a Ninja Creamy?
Yes. And protein powder, scoop of fiber, um, chocolate pudding, powder.
Chocolate.
Should be good. Chocolate, yes.
You should put some of that hot chocolate mix in it. I bet that would be good.
Oh, so I was thinking about trying to figure out a way I could get some cinnamon in there. Mm.
We have a hot chocolate mix that we got from Janet and Richard with the cinnamon and the hot cocoa and Mexican hot chocolate. We'll give you that so you can make it with that.
Is it the one from Costco or Trader Joe's? Which one was it, Jenny?
It was Costco. They have them.
Costco's is so good.
I do.
You what? What'd you say, Mom?
I said I didn't like the Costco one. And I don't particularly like the one Janet and Richard gave us. I just don't like Mexican coffee.
Ours is from a restaurant.
Mm.
But I like nutrition plan.
Yeah, because it doesn't have, you don't like cinnamon. You must not like cinnamon.
Yeah, I don't really like cinnamon in my drinks.
Am I charging? Hey, bud. Have you found it? B. Okay, 5:05. We're getting this party started.
Okay.
Um, so hopefully you guys looked at the little thing that I sent out this morning.
I
I
did.
I don't remember. I wrote this last year for one of these challenges, and I don't remember which one it was. Um, and I have 9 weeks of little semi workbook style things to read through. If you haven't looked through them, they should be. I think they're pretty good. Um, Places to kind of like get your brain in the right space that we're going to be talking about or dealing with the later in the day in these meetings. The biggest thing that I want everyone to take away from, even though there's only 5 people on this call, um, is that there isn't we're not looking. I mean, how do I say this? Dieting, nutrition, exercise, all these things that most people have almost the same goal. Um, why they do the things that they're doing. They're just different shades of almost the same exact thing for almost everybody. And so realistically, everyone thinks that they need this individualized, very particular magic bullet. And in reality, most people just need to do the very basic things consistently, excuse me, for a long enough time to see the results that they're after. Now, granted, there's one-offs where people have, let's just take it to an extreme and say they have a fight that they're, or a weightlifting weigh-in that they have to be ready for, and they have to make certain weight, or they want to fit into this dress for this wedding, or this swimsuit for their alumni swim meet that CSUN's having in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Sure, there are some reasons why you might want to expedite some of these things, but in reality, there's almost never, almost very few people. I personally have never met anyone, so I can't say with 100% certainty, but I'd like to, that whenever people are chasing these quick fixes, these 75 hard things, that wait and that change is not sustainable. In reality, we should be trying to do small little changes along the way, finding what works for us, what doesn't work for us, and then basically layering on one tiny little change at a time until like 5 years from now, you've got so many layers of these tiny little changes that you're a different person. 5 years, a year, 6 months, really. It doesn't really take that long. And you're a different person. So that's kind of what we're after, and that's kind of how I like to teach this stuff. I don't like these little short sprint efforts. I like the long, focused, intentional, easy to handle along the way kind of stuff. So there's that. With that said, the first little piece of this is about like basically talking about how we're looking for like an 80/20, a sustainable approach. Like we don't want you to be 100% strict all the time. This is another reason why people fail because A, it either gets overwhelming, or B, it's not, they just can't do it. Or C, it might work for some amount of time and then they get to that goal and then they're kaput. They have to start over, they gain a bunch of weight back, or they backtrack in their fitness, whatever that might be. So we're looking for like a low trajectory towards a distant horizon kind of change. And barring anything substantial happening in your life, that is actually the key, the secret, the magic pill, if you will, to long-term improvements in health and wellness development, things like that. So 80% of the time you're being really super nice. You're like pretty much on target. And every 10, 15, 20% here or there, you're like indulging because that's sustainable. I had a Diet Coke today. I'm going to have some ice cream later. Well, tomorrow it's not going to be ready today, but like that's what makes it possible for me to continue staying pretty consistent out most of the other time. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Then, with that in mind, basically, I think one of the best ways to keep people on task and focused on this, besides providing accountability and weekly meetings and partnering people up and potentially having some ambassadors that are helping me keep people accountable, is just understanding what you want and why. So that's basically the first week's assignment is starting with why. You're going to write down a couple of your goals on the what do you want page of this little worksheet. And then you're going to basically, the next step of that is take those goals and ask why. And just keep asking why until you kind of whittle these things down to things that are like seriously meaningful. Not like, sure, I want to get ready for beach season or whatever that stupid goal is. Well, that's not actually what you want. You want to potentially feel confident enough to, I don't know. I'm so far removed from that kind of stuff. How about I say
Healthy?
healthy? So let's go the other direction. Like I want to be healthy and fit for my entire life as long as I possibly can. So I'm there for my kids in the way that maybe my parents couldn't have been, or my grandkids even. I'm going to be able to bend down, pick them up, run around in the backyard with them. Like those are the real, true, strong whys. I want to set a good example for my kids. Like that's the real reason why. Usually people give you, oh, I want to lose X amount of weight because that's my goal. Like this arbitrary made up number that doesn't really, sure, it might correlate with improvements in health, but it's not in itself going to make you healthier and fitter. It's just a number that correlates to it. So it's like, really, why do you want to lose those 10 pounds? Is it because it might bring my cholesterol level down? Okay, why does that matter? Because I will be healthier for the longer term, things like that. So that's basically the first week's assignments. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to propose to people, and then I wanted to kind of talk about, field some questions, and then talk about maybe start talking about some of these things. So the floor is open.
Will, sorry, this is the first kind of group that I've been back in. Is this like where we're supposed to write it down? Is this just somewhere on our own, or is there somewhere online, or is it supposed to be shared, or
All of the above. So on the
okay.
sheet that I sent out in the WhatsApp chat this morning, there's a couple different pages where you can write on, if you print it out, write on it.
Oh, yeah. See, I thought they were going to go down and score. You throw an interception.
Mom, I'm going to mute you.
He's going berserk over the foot.
We have family in town right now.
Oh, fine.
Kyle, did you see it?
I'm looking right now. Sorry, I'm also listening to and watching the football game.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure it's there.
Well, and part of the reason why there isn't any much deeper, more serious conversation is like,
I got it.
The first one, these first meetings is typically it's people getting in oh, hey, there's a meeting starting on Sundays again. Oh, I remember that now. Oh, we need to be checking the WhatsApp chat relatively regularly. We need to plan, maybe read I don't want to call it an assignment, but read a holy moly 24/0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's bad.
Whoa.
Mom's about to mute you.
What?
You muted mom. Mom's gonna mute you.
She can't mute me. Okay, Kyle, did you find it? Yes. All right, so let's
Yes,
kind of
I've
go
got
through
it.
this, and then let's just kind of start with like some goals. Some goals. We'll talk about like maybe actually let's talk about kind of like maybe what people have done in the past, maybe that has or has not worked for them. No, let's do goals first. So let's get some of your goals on kind of out in the open so the people here can hold you accountable for what we're doing also. Karina says, okay, so number one, we'll come back to motivation, but I think part of people's challenge with motivation is I really don't think that people have at least what's the word I want? Not whittled down, but they've not made why they want something clear enough to make it so important that they can't not try and do it. I think that's a huge part of motivation. And motivation in general, I'm not a huge fan of that word because no one wants to wake up at, let's just say, 4:30 in the morning and go work out, right? Even if you perpetually wake up at 3:30 in the morning, you don't really want to get up and go work out. You don't really want to go home and make breakfast for a bunch of people and then have to run to work and this, that, and the other. Motivation, it doesn't matter, right? You don't want to go to work all of the time. You choose to, right? Because there's a reason for all of those things and those decisions. So you have to frame it in that regards. It's just something that you do, specifically the stuff that you don't want to do, because in the long run, it's very important for your fulfillment in whatever it is that you kind of decide is important to you. Um, we'll come back to that. Goals. I want some goals. Give me some goals.
No fast
I need-
food.
I
Who
need
said
to,
that?
what is that?
Me.
Who's,
Lisette.
who said no fast food?
Me.
Okay, so Lisette, we're gonna pick on you a little bit here. Um,
Or
so
soda.
okay, the goal is not actually not to eat fast food, right?
Yeah.
Like why is that actually your goal?
I have teenagers that usually want fast food and I go get it for them. And when I do go, I'm either hungry, I haven't had a protein shake, I haven't had my snacks, so I end up grabbing something on the go as well.
Right, but why does that matter?
Because it's not healthy for you and it's leads into doing it more often. Lately it has been.
I mean, it can, or it might not. Healthy is um, I'm not a huge fan of. I think it's okay to eat fast food occasionally. There's nothing wrong with it in the sense that like um, what is does Mario play any sports?
Yeah, football.
Okay, so let's just say they're away for a football tournament and the only thing that you can get your hands on is fast food. Would you rather him eat and then eat with him than neither of you eat? Like at the end of a long tournament, I don't know how football works, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right,
No,
like
I
there
understand.
is there's appropriate times for stuff like that. It's just it can't be
Mhm.
all the time. And realistically, the reason why it can't be all the time is because it's not a great option. It's not the worst option. Sometimes some food is better than no food.
Mhm.
But in the scheme of things, if we'll talk about this in maybe a week or two, planning better would probably get you out of those jams where you're forced to make that choice.
Mhm.
Now, health, healthy, right? It's not healthy, quote unquote. Yeah, there are much better options, and
Mhm.
we'll talk about it next week, I think. But almost all of the time, we're trying to eat primarily some kind of protein source and vegetables, and then fill up on whatever other superfluous things that you enjoy if it doesn't happen to be meat and vegetables. Um, because they fuel our system better, give us stronger, better building blocks to build upon. Um, and they're not associated with poor health outcomes like higher cholesterol and um, higher blood sugar and blah 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 whatever the things are happens to be. I'm trying to generalize across every all the quote unquote bad foods, but yeah, they're not the best option, but it's also not there. So um, going back to why you don't want why that's your goal, it's a good step towards a certain goal. So what is it, the actual goal that you're trying to achieve? It's not to not eat fast food.
Right. It's to be healthier, eat healthier, and
It's well,
yes.
it's eat healthier, and then the next dive between below that is to be healthier, and the
Yeah.
next dive below that is why. Like, why do you care about being healthier?
To live a longer, better life
Why?
and healthier, to be active and be able to go to the gym um and stay healthy.
To enjoy your life more, right? And enjoy being with your family more, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. It's like whenever you guys have people in general have goals, people in general need to take a deeper look at them and don't just say, "Oh, I want to not why New Year's resolutions fail. I want to go to the gym every day." That's a terrible goal. If you're not already doing that, because why do it every day, right? Why not start with 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week? If you haven't worked out in 10 years, like you're setting yourself up for failure. If you don't understand why you're making a goal, you're setting yourself a little bit for failure. So I'm just trying to kind of get people to start thinking about that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at Karina's here. An active lifestyle or feeling body. Good, cool. Great, that's awesome. So and like when the going gets tough and you don't want to wake up for that workout the next day because it might not ever be cold here in Southern California again, but let's just pretend like it's going to be cold and rainy tomorrow. Oh, Thursday. When we're sore on Thursday morning and the alarm clock goes off and you're like, oh, I went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't really feel like going today. That might be okay. Well, maybe you don't, but you're not doing it necessarily just for you, right? You're doing it for in this case, to be an example for your family and your son. So that helps to make those decisions a little bit less challenging. Is just kind of what I'm trying to get at. Cool, that's awesome. What about you, Colette?
So for this week, I'm going back to work from 9 to 5 and come home at 6. My goal will
You're
be to
starting
eat
work
dinner.
again.
Well, I'm not starting work again. This week I went to 3 p.m. So I came home and had
Oh,
time
okay.
for dinner. So now I come home at 6 and don't have time for dinner. And usually it's a shake or skip it. And then the next day I'm like super hungry. So dinner would be nice
Mm.
as a goal.
And dinner, okay, so you're essentially trying to, I mean, I'm gonna generalize again. You're trying to make sure that you're eating so that the
Yeah.
next day you can fuel potentially going to like think about how hard it would be. I mean, you might not have to think about it, you probably know. If you wake up the next morning and you're starving and sore and tired, like what are the chances you're going to get up and go to the gym? Pretty low, right? So we're trying to like kind of A, plan to prepare ourselves for that kind of stuff, and B, give ourselves a reason to get up regardless and plan ahead of time. Um, just a quick note on that. You could probably, Melissa and I are still doing Every Table, and it's not the best meal prep service, but it is pretty dang close. It's
Okay.
cheap, it's relatively tasty. My mom would say that everything they make is spicy. I don't necessarily agree with her. Even their spiciest thing on their menu is not it's not that spicy, but whatever.
They took away the
Um,
good things, replaced them with spicy things.
there's
And
still plenty good things there. Some of them are a little we'll talk about this next week for sure. I think next week is calories in and out. Some of their meals are very um mm, very calorically dense for not a whole lot of nutritional value. And others of them are pretty balanced and something probably pretty close that you would make for yourself at home. So I would, if you
Mhm.
do start getting into a meal service, um, like Every Table, for example, that doesn't have the paleo, the high protein, the keto options like Territory does, and what's that other one? Factor. Those have like specific ones where you can request very kind of nutritional um, biases. Every table doesn't have that, so you have to be a little bit careful, but it's pretty good.
Cool. Because right now my
There's,
safety meals are eggs and steamed broccoli. It's one of my favorite meals. It's my go-to. It's like it's easy, done.
ew.
I like it.
Um, yeah, every table's cheap, and I would imagine you're spending as much on that eggs and broccoli as no, I'm just kidding. But eggs are really expensive right now. Um, the set they have an Every Table right by the gym on Sepulveda, basically Sepulveda and Sherman Way. I don't remember
Oh,
where you
nice.
guys
I can
coming
get that.
from, but it's an easy right turn on Kester, and then either a left turn on Van Owen or something else, and a right turn on Sepulveda, depending on what time you come, because that Victory is really busy at certain times of the day, going back towards the 405. But yeah, it's an easy like pull into the parking lot, pick up your meals, and get back on the freeway.
Well, the other problem with
Nice.
Every Table was they were not open at 8 o'clock in the morning.
The one by the gym is.
Oh,
And
Okay.
I think they changed their hours on all of their stores, actually.
That was another reason we quit going there.
Yeah.
I might
I'll
try
try,
it.
And
I'll
and
try
they
that.
do deliver now also. They didn't used to deliver, they deliver now. And I think it's free delivery over on orders over $25. And they give you tons of loyalty points. Like
Yeah.
I probably got $10 off every single order we picked up twice a week for
Hmm.
like 6 months. They give you so many points so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. I think it was if you bought 4 meals, you got one free or something, basically. So it was pretty good.
And
When they deliver, do they deliver in an ice pack or something, or do you need to be
I have
there?
no idea.
No, you pick your delivery window. They're pretty good about it, and Uber Eats delivers it. I do
Oh,
have today. I did not get mine today. I was a little pissed, but I went to the store and they refunded me and gave me a very nice discount on everything
mhm.
for the week. So their customer service is pretty great.
Nice.
And they're actually a really cool company. I don't know if you knew this, Jenny, but what they the idea behind Every Table was they I don't know what the word is, but they have a different pricing structure based on the area that the store's in. So places that like Van Nuys, or maybe something a little not that Van Nuys is super nice, but less less affluent areas have slightly cheaper prices, and I would bet different meals offered than more wealthy areas, and they offset the price by increasing the price for the people who can afford it a little bit more, which is really cool. And
Mhm.
they're basically trying to donate. I think they also do donations of food. Yeah, they donate any food that's not sold. They'll donate it to I don't know who,
Senior
but they're
citizens.
The
yeah,
people that are out front of the store.
no, not those people actually. But
Mhm.
they're a really cool company from what I know of them. So I like supporting them. So anyway, cool. Kyle, give me some goals.
I have many. Um, One is to quit the yo-yo, the up and down, which
Hmm.
has probably plagued me since I was 13, 14 years old, which is
Hmm.
many
Hmm.
years. Um, Another one that I'm just battling in general is just like my age and what's happening. I gained 12 pounds in the last month, which doing absolutely nothing different and being at the gym probably 4 to 5 days a week.
Have you seen a doctor about your thyroid?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of having some tests done. Um, it's just very frustrating to try to do like everything that you're supposed to do when that is happening. So I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying, but my body's not really cooperating with me right now. So I think like that, just trying to stay doing what I'm supposed to be doing and eating what I'm supposed to be eating when the scale is still going up.
Yeah, that's really tough. I could empathize with that for sure. And you have to remember, it's still the right thing to do for yourself, right? It's like eating correctly and going to the gym and trying to sleep and trying to manage your stress and all the other fit sick stuff that we maybe haven't talked about with you in a while. But all that stuff still is the right thing to do, even if the result is not either coming as fast as you want it to, maybe it's going the other direction, maybe something's off outside of your control. Um, so you have to kind of focus on the stuff that you can control and just do the best you can with that stuff. So good.
And
Um,
I mean, my blood pressure is good. My cholesterol is actually fine. That's really good, but it's still like, you know, scale is not good.
when is your next doctor's appointment?
Well, I just had some tests, so I'm waiting for some results. Um, and so I'm going to talk to the doctor again this week.
Good. Cool. And then uh, yo-yo and that we could take the yo-yo and say, okay, well, why do you think that is not why do you think that's a worthy goal? And it's probably very much health related, and sustainable health related, right?
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I mean, right. I've figured out how to lose it. But then I get to my goal and staying there just seems to be like that's, just maintaining it. Um, so I can either be really good or I'm not good. So trying to figure out how to just like balance that.
yeah, and like we all of us need to think about our fitness, our nutrition, our sleep, our relationships, our stress, and our personal mindset. All of that stuff, it can't, I mean, it can be, but it's not a recipe for success. It cannot be a light switch. It should be a dimmer switch, right? You turn up like a volume knob or something. Like you turn it up a little bit at a time or down a little bit at a time. And all of these little knobs, we're kind of making little tweaks here and there. We're not trying to flip on and off the switch because it's just a recipe for havoc on a lot of things, right? Not just our physical, mental, or not just our physical health, but our mental health also. So you're dealing with a little bit more specific, like probably actual hormonal stuff that is a little outside of this discussion. But like even that, you can only do the best you can do. You have to control what you can, and you have to give yourself a bit of grace when you're dealing with stuff that like you're doing all the right things, it's still not working. Just have
Well,
to
and yeah, and
be okay
that's
with
the
that.
hardest part because I
Yeah.
feel like if I can eat chicken and broccoli, say, or I can eat pizza and you're gonna have the same result. Well,
Well,
so it's
it probably wouldn't be the same result, right?
well, yes, but you know what I mean. You know the thought that
Yes.
it's like, yeah. So, but I'm trying to, which is why I'm on this call and and trying to get to the gym 4 or 5 days a week and do all of that so that I can manage it and balance it as the best that I can.
Good. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Jenny, hit me with some goals.
Uh, very concrete goal. The first one
Does
is
Abby want to interpret for you? Does she want to be your voice?
800 800-gram challenge, or at least eat more fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
And the second one is get 5 consecutive toes to bar.
Cool.
Yeah.
Why the 800 grams of fruits and vegetables?
I just started tracking again, and I really don't. I mean, I eat fruit, not 800 grams, but it's hard for me to get vegetables in. And those every table meals don't have that many vegetables.
That is one of the two things that the only two things that I probably would complain about is it depends on the meal, but most of the meals are like 20 grams of protein, maybe 25 if they're lucky. And if you're eating, you should really be trying to shoot for like 30 to 40 grams on the lower end, and maybe if you're even a man, maybe up to 50 grams of protein per actual edible meal. So protein is typically lacking, and then they for sure are lacking in vegetables. We have to supplement some of ours with some like freeze-dried vegetables, and then like a piece of fruit as like a dessert. Cool. And then 5 consecutive toes to bar. Why that? Is it going to make you the super CrossFitter? It's going to make you the next Tia?
Mhm.
I mean, that's a far, far goal, but I want to get stronger, and I want something concrete, so that's why that seems like
Yeah,
the most attainable goal right now.
great. Pretty much all of the lifespan, not health span, but lifespan, like healthy throughout your life research, um, agrees where they didn't really used to kind of talk, especially for women. Is there any guys on this call? No, of course not. Um, especially for women though, the cardiovascular fitness, which tends to be what most women are more inclined to be excited about pushing themselves in. The cardiovascular fitness is what kind of determines how long you're going to live, but the amount of strength They currently are talking about it as muscle mass, like just absolute muscle mass, is what will determine how you live those lives. But it's actually not just muscle mass, and I would argue it's probably not even that. It's more strength. There's a lot of people who are not very large human beings that are strong, that are still living very independent lives, very fulfilled, satisfied, capable of doing everything that they want to do, but they don't actually have a tremendous amount of muscle mass. It's just they can use what they have better, I think is actually a better indicator of that. So I like strength and power more than actual just muscle tissue being the goal. But great, cool, awesome. Mom, what are your goals? You got 1 minute and 33 seconds before the thing kicks off. I thought I paid for this, but I guess I didn't.
I want more fruits and vegetables. I'm doing good with my protein. I've been for like a year now doing more protein. I'm happy with that. But I do want more fruits and vegetables, and I also need a better way to track or understand where my glucose numbers are coming from. It's not just cupcakes. It's other stuff like.
You mean like blood test glucose levels?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because they go up, they go down, they go up, they go down, and I'm kind of
Well,
baffled.
that's what they're supposed to do.
Well,
But we could talk more. We can talk more about that. I mean, clearly you're saying that because a doctor said something about it, so we can. I
get yelled at every time. Well, not every time. Sometimes they're good, but then when they're not,